just tuned in to NNUTS podcast. Yeah, that's right, NNUTS. Nothing new under the sun. So make sure you tune in, because this is where it's at. You don't want to miss it. You hear me? Let's go. Into the UTS. Into the UTS. Into the UTS. Into the UTS. Nothing new under the sun. Yeah, we're the best. Into the UTS. Into the UTS. Into the UTS.
But how do you think you can improve your economy is basically how I feel like you could. I've always had a restraining economy where, heck, I might have a job for 6 months and then be off another 4 months, and then I got expenses. So how do you scale to economy? I think a lot of people maximize input to output, or even go over or run surpluses. A lot of this is budgeting 101 and understanding, like my grandma, your mother, always told me, get your money back off you buy. I didn't know at the time that that's what they call ROI, return on investment. But when I bought a computer, I always think, hey, how long does it take me to get my money back, and can I get my money back? When I buy my camera or when I buy a phone, I say, hey, how can I leverage this to make me some money? Review a phone, use my phone for, it's just a bunch of different ways that you can look at your economy. You got to have your economy to scale.
Well, what's been on my mind very strongly, like we used to do when we had adult foster care for the mentally and physically impaired people, it was times I fed 12 people a day. With the residents, we had 5 adults, I had 4 children, and then my niece and nephew would come down, and so those people I had to feed every day. And I wasn't a great cook, I'm a better cook now. But still, you gotta go buy the cow. You have to go buy the pig. And that's what I'm getting ready to do with a few people.
And I say this because my mother was ahead of the curve a long time ago. She always was talking, the fresher the better. She would always, when she talked about going to get a half a cow, she would go get a half a cow or half a pig. And you eat the bacon, you're like, oh, this bacon tastes different. But it was real bacon and not this Solomon Forsyth bacon and stuff that she was with the garden and stuff, and the fresher the food, the better. She was ahead of the curve. How did you know that was the way to go? And you keep stepping back from the mic, okay. And then
I don't honestly know how I knew, but I knew. It's like, of course, being African American, mother from Mississippi, Missouri way, she cooks soul food. So I could come home and anything would be in the pot, a coon, a tongue, or this or that. And I wasn't really feeling that, and I knew that some of that stuff just wasn't no good for you. What you look like eating a pig foot or some chicken feet? I don't get it. So I didn't cook that stuff in my home. Still today, I don't really know how to cook soul food. And it just made sense to me to not add all that stuff in there. And then once you learn Bible, there's some things that you're not supposed to eat, but you can pray over it and make it, right. But, yeah.
You can pray to send away over the food.
It still will be some high blood pressure, possibly.
Yeah, so I want to thank you for coming. I don't want to keep you too long. We standing, and next time I'll put you in the chair. But this is my mama. Thank you for checking us out. You got any shouts out? You want anybody can anybody find you on Facebook or whatever? Like what's some of your contact?
Oh, I'm on Facebook as Jacquelyn Clancy and Miss J's Painting and Interior Design.
All right, shoot your plug. Mama, I don't think you was. Let us know what you do.
Ooh, what do? I make it happen. I'm an interior designer, was a realtor, And then like we have to reinvent ourselves. So when I came back home, I got to put it the way it was. When I left New Orleans, came back home, the white folks wouldn't turn them jobs loose. I couldn't get a job. And I even cried in an interview at a factory. And I've never really worked factories. Been self-employed most of my life, and my children seen us open businesses and things like that. And but anyway, reinvented myself, started a painting company, and it's pretty successful.
Painting company, what you paint? What?
I paint interior and exterior. I mainly paint exterior homes. My husband is a contractor, so we go to these homes for people, and they may have a dilapidated home. The home may be 80, 100 years old, whatever. You know, the wood is rotted in places and things like that. So we pull it back together for them, yes, and turn it around and increase the value of the home, 10,000, 20,000, what have you. And my main thing is like, when I asked the Lord if I could get out of like nursing and taking care of people and all that stuff, and become a designer and still do things for the Lord and still make people happy. I find with my designs, people cry. I'm getting tips, $100, this, dinners, things like this. They so happy to be able to drive home in their driveway and be proud of their home.
Do you think some of that is just work ethic? Because we didn't hit on your work ethic, and I think it deserves like to be great at anything. You got to do it. And the one thing that my mother has always installed in me is that whatever you want to do, you do it. You don't let nobody talk you out of your what she would call your gift. She taught me how to cut hair. She taught me in high school. I was a hustler. I never touched drugs. I was a hustler. I mean, I got money legally. I cut hair. I DJ'd. I did paper routes. I figured out a way to, like I said, to be great at anything. You got to be persistent. And so she hasn't said it, but I want you to talk about how you be great. But how did you be, like, what do you think you're great at?
Geez, I think I'm very good at many things.
No, I said, what are you great at?
What am I great at?
I'm good. What are you great at?
Well, put people together, for one thing. I'm always out here trying to learn all the time. I think learning is totally important. I always get a certificate here or something. I never stop learning, and then I get back to my community. I think that's a great thing. I get great love from my community. Maybe not as much as my son. I'm growing there, but I think I'm just great at my job because I love my job. I love what I do. So.
But
Yeah.
you're just a great painter. Like what? So that's what I'm saying.
Well, the design.
Tell me what you're great at. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't come around the pot. Tell me what you're great at. You said your job. Tell me what that means.
Well, what that means is I have to hire people to help me complete my projects, and so
she beating around the bush.
So
what are you great at? When I say you great, you just told me you're great at your job, and your job, you said you paint houses and you give value in houses. You also said that you're an interior designer. So break it down at what you're great at.
This is very hard because I'm one person that I don't go out all that. You'll never hear me say that. I let other people say that about me. But I have design. I love design, putting things together. And like, case in point, my son is redoing his kitchen and he showed me the blueprint. I can't sleep this morning because I'm thinking about the blueprint on the kitchen, and something needed to be moved to make the thing flow the way I know he wanted it to flow. So I'm up talking to you at 7 o'clock this morning, Brian, why are we? And then and it works. So that I can't pat me on the back all that. I let the other people do it.
NNUTS.